Abutia mema wahasa ma wakwaba Edoba Daily Update TV so. Ene na ahwe dwumadi no na subscribe na wa share na the comment atudwa. Abusia men fa wonko akiri pi. Ye bekwa hwehwe mfoni bi. Ba ma men kan mfoni ho asem kire o. Kelvin tell the submission we drop it. Like any standby. Ye kan mfoni ho asem sisi. Ye nyina ni years 2016 or 2020 I stand to be corrected on this. Ye kai say anwum bi ba your friend Papa no. That is 2016. J494. Okay, 2016. Papa no. And Papa no eko ye say eye Mahama ana ye Papa no. Na abrante na obo nwom no. Kama eyi na pi. Abusia na say de na me ka no. Sa Papa no e trendy ye pa o, e trendy pa Emma akwajo Akroma ko pale ko ka Papa no ma speaker ka say on withdraw sa word no. Emma ura na me kana asem sisi ni artist bi be fa bonu Papa no ye obawe na ni nyina na omo refer to Tracy Boache ene eye omampani former president. Asem ya make enya asem keto o. E be trendy na je Papa no ye obawe na je say Mahama na je say ba sisi no the obo nyom no papa no kama yi na pia ma na bekaze ono nyom na obo no ono comedian no so o comedians no ko hu say two celebrities argue papa no ano ka he can make something out from it enti no oko studio kra no anya se watwere okoi okoye no ono oni intention bia say or ye nwom no purposely say Mahama na ze bi say but omo Ghana fo na gada adwin bi na omo ka omo de nwom ne tag Mahama but ono ankasa de we sorry Mahama fancha no we very sorry we regret it kura say ye nwom papa Mahama fancha no pa big time abusia asema make enya asem 2016 papa no we obere oh asem ne na say any nyan say papa no nyina akwa Mahama very decent gentleman na ye kama obere wan abusia credibility wo bi just amoyan kura Mahama de sa anema no de wonya no wonte say ti yakwakotie enwom no papa no abusia fa show man
saying that you are part of the reasons why John Dramani Mahama couldn't come to power with the song Papa no. You see,
let me take this opportunity to clear the Papa no thing. I had two ladies, converse. I mean, social media, they were talking. Yeah, Papa no, so Papa no, between the two ladies I was talking about. I mean, those we all know them. Those two celebrities here, Gloria Kani and the other, what's her name? Tracy. Yes. So me, I heard of Papa no. I was like, Papa no, this is very interesting. Let me just work on something. So I just went to the studio. Then just one night. From 12 to 7 a.m., we just released it. Okay. By 9 o'clock, it was all over. So I did not have anybody in mind. But then some people gathered some rushes of the former president and put it behind the music, and they were using it to promote their own stuff. So I don't know, the people thought it was me. I had no idea.
So did you have any regrets?
Oh, I'll take this opportunity to apologize to the former president. I mean, His Excellency John Mahama. I didn't know. I wasn't the one who did the, how do we call it? Those videos, right. Those rushes circulating. I wasn't the one. I wasn't. But the song was not. Papa no goes to everybody. Obembe biya Papa no. So far as Charlie,
Konwa. Afenyo makini ni MPP no. Atachiana oji 200 million no. Atachiano ono so beto abani bi. Chese mo Ghana for no minima de komponti a still a moda ho twen say ye nto aba because me hu obi o ka se meto aba MPP a ana me hu difference only abo because minima de bi ma o pese I don't know what you need to see again minim de o pese ya ka kire obiem ma hu se nkofo we omunim nyansa wo se nipa da se ni anyansa da otim kwoto aba ma omo $128 million na be sin ne omukotena parliament almost 10 hours almost say omon kire bibia $128 million ne da enkofo a ye yisika ato abase omonko parliament ye tie omoka NPP majority ya na ye hwe omo ya nti na omo ho omo nkyere bebi a 128 million ne dana omo so omo nka eda bank ben omo so omo nka monko fa no so nko adwuma na omo se me nkasa ankyere omo adan a omo akofa deal bi asa aba $150 million and they are omo gina so because omo nim so omo numbers nti omo gina so ato aba ama omo ho. All of them me nyo bia mfrim yeah aje $150 million hwe bia dollar no hwe Ghana inflation hwe Ghana bibia fuel prices edu hwe Ghana ye economy ni sika seven. They don't care. I don't care because majority of you people are foolish. Mwejimi mumudu do Ghana for no mwejimi and NPP for ma catch them almost study mwache omo mu say Ghana for do no mwejimi, so they will play on your conscience. Now sasika we a first $200 million no if you World Bank want to buy you. So the NDC want to ask the World Bank say somebody sikama Ghana mwana ya mokachire say mudi money di echire. It is a World Bank for the omuni edi sa sika ne chia. Sorry. So World Bank for say omuni di sa sika ne chia. Eye den ena sa sika no contract ampo enim bebi an location wo so okoye adwuma. Na World Bank etina homa sa ade we si. And I am very happy the minority wants to take up this institution because Krono Ekoso under Ekufuado government, the IMF and the World Bank, they are aiding these people to mess us up. Yes, because you see, continuously, it is looking like the World Bank, their branch in Ghana, they are conniving with this government. At the end of the day, now because if the World Bank is basically the supervisory agency or institution that is supposed to oversee the completion of this project, how did the World Bank come to a conclusion that they can disburse the money whilst even a contractor did not even know where their location is, where they have to go and build a house? But the World Bank at the end of the day was able to give a green light that the project should go on. Meaning there's somebody at the World Bank in Ghana or somebody at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. conniving with Ghana officials to dupe Ghanaians. And this is something we need to go and check. And say they are going to petition the World Bank in Washington, D.C. to ask them, say, how did this happen? Because a committee in Parliament was able to go to the locations. Contractors on location did not even know where they have to build. So who in Ghana with the Bank of World Bank was able to give the green light for Ekufuado and his people to chop the money? We need to take up these people because it is looking like some of these UNDP, World Bank, IMF, they are taking us for granted. And you see, there are some people who represent these institutions in Africa. They are making billions because those people know the African politicians are criminals. And for some reason, some of them might have been compromised. Because you cannot tell me the World Bank has the supervisory role, but at the end of the day, the work that was not done, the World Bank at the end of the day gave a green light for the work to be done. Then there's some miscommunication between the headquarters at World Bank in Washington, D.C. and the branch World Bank in Ghana. Somebody is not reporting the right numbers to the boss in D.C. Somebody is not writing the right report. Somebody is not following up the work that has to be done. So the minority, they have to pursue this. Somebody in Ghana or somebody in Washington, D.C. is conniving with the politician in Africa to dupe the World Bank and dupe Ghanaians. So I totally support this. Ghana, Africa, especially Ghana, under Ekufuado who say some institutions cannot be fully trusted, and especially those who represent these super multi-million dollar institutions in Europe and America. No, their offices in our respective African countries. That is where the corruption is. Because if there's somebody in Ghana who works for the World Bank, who is the supervisor for this project, that person needs to come and tell us how they were able to sanction this project. Abroad, there are no contractors on the ground. What did they see? When they went to inspect, what did they see before they allowed the World Bank to give that money to Ghana? These people are supposed to answer questions. Now, Cecilia Dapa, Edini Kunu Asam no El Court. And it's so interesting. It's very interesting because and you see, before I talk about this, so we are Ghana in there, not Oshe Parliament. You have to be very ashamed. You have to be very, very worried. You have to ask yourself, say, all these years, why have we allowed imposters, criminals, thieves, liars to lead us? And you see, at a point, we need to pause and ask questions. The reason why we are here today is because we were not paying attention. We were not asking enough questions. We were just allowing some people to just go through the system like a hot knife, to just do damage to us. And we have allowed so many of these kind of human beings to take very important and vital positions in our governance system. And because they have never had good record, everything about them has been a lie. We have gotten to the stage whereby the leadership has been tainted to the point where we can't even get people with better moral upbringing. People who basically feel, say, they owe this nation some service, some kind of respect. People who at a point will be like, enough is enough. I need to at least consider this nation. We have allowed a lot of fake liars for over 50 years. There are a group of men and women in Ghana we have given authority to, power to, that did not or never deserve to come close to power. Some are mentally not right. Some are basically not in the right frame of mind to even occupy some of the offices they are occupying. We have failed to scrutinize the system. We have failed to double check people, and we have allowed these same people to go through to come to get to this point. And there's no regard. There's no regard for the rule of law. There's a total disregard for that. The president does not respect the laws. Today, the judiciary and the legislature and the executive, they are all doing business. Today, the judiciary is always waiting for the executive to give them a job to do. Today, when you hear the Speaker of Parliament say that what the judiciary is doing, if they also decide to react, then there is not going to be a government. There's not going to be respect between or amongst these three pillars of government. And when you get a Speaker of Parliament sitting in Parliament, trying to measure his words, trying to sound diplomatic, but when you listen to him carefully, he's trying to tell you that the country is on its knees. Today, the judiciary is fighting Parliament. The executive is manipulating the judiciary to fight Parliament. So now the executive is basically like a tyrant. And when Parliament starts to feel that two of the arms of government are basically conniving to undermine their work, Parliament is a place of record and an independent body, then it means our democracy itself, it has been brought down on its knees. So when you get the Speaker of Parliament, sit in Parliament and tries to become diplomatic about the happenings, the things that are destroying the democracy that we have held to this point, then we know you have to understand that we are at a point where if we don't take decisions quickly, we will lose this nation, we will lose the democracy, and we will lose ourselves. Something happened in Parliament today, and it was so disgusting. About 40% of parliamentarians in Ghana Parliament and in politics in Ghana, they are all fake lawyers. I told Ghanaians first on my platforms that KT Amon is never a qualified lawyer in Ghana. But you see, we see this as a joke. It is not. You see another Danko Kufuado. He doesn't even have a certificate. But you see the judiciary licking his butt. You see the Chief Justice always licking Kufuado's butt. For some reason, you ask yourself, why would a Chief Justice lower herself to the point of praising a lawyer who does not have a certificate? A lawyer who does not have a classmate? A lawyer who cannot point to one colleague he practiced with in London or in France or wherever? So Why do you think a chief justice would do a foot soldier job? It is because the system has been tainted. It's because the system is corrupt. It is because we are undermining some pillars of government. We are undermining the main things that hold this country together. In Parliament today, an episode came up today and it was about K.T. Hammond. K.T. Hammond is a minister. He's a minister of trade. K.T. Hammond holds a cabinet position. But today in Parliament, they see on say, Obia Bewu say K.T. Hammond is not a lawyer. In fact, it was through a casual conversation that he got to a point whereby facts were supposed to be put out. Now, at the end of everything, Speaker Alban Bagbin made it clear to Ghanaians, say, Nipa Mienupe in the history of the Republic of Ghana, and the more exceptional day leave say, Yaya omo lawyers, Abra, Omukwaji omo law certificate to Abruchi. Only 2 people in the history of the Republic of Ghana. But before that, K.T. Hammond catch Ghana for say, or ye nipa or practicing or London or buy and your man exceptional or your man some priority binti wa anko Ghana law school and obey a lawyer, a practicing lawyer in Ghana. Yamran so say only 2 people in the history of this country and they have granted almost those things. So it means that Nana Danko Akufo-Addo himself, that is why you ask him, say, the classmate in Ghana at the Ghana Law School here, own to me control, he used the same tactics that K.T. Hammond used here to enter Ghana law. And we need to get these things. It is pitiful. It hurts. Because we sit here and we want a better Ghana. But the people who are basically managing this country are a group of imposters and criminals. I've insisted.
The conversation segment na Bruce na Busiam. Yera ase oje bremi ekwohwe mfoni no na eti Kelvin na yendi nkomon fasa ene ne kotie no. Ene na yekotie na about K.T. Hammond ze MPP na lawyer for ne dosu. Na o ka se MPP for na bebre omo nya lawyer for. Omo fraud certificate nya they ade na omo parliament because a lot of them and even Omampenyi Akufo-Addo say ye ka say Akufo-Addo ne hwan e ne call law school Omampenyi ne hwan classmate ne hwan me enye me dene say metimi aka say nipa asimasi me class me ne call school mu pa mo ko busa no na ejina pieces ni esi work we common some ye busa wa no amomo but ye bisa Akufo-Addo no hwan ne call law school na je say Akufo-Addo Kevin Taylor expose or dropping in as only classmate a fake law certificate and a kitano no. It's really true because say as usual as I'm making a BC or parliament and a Kevin Taylor can wasem na or they every rasa Akufo-Addo side and they say K.T. Hammond is a proper lawyer. What they over procedure being no they share law firm K.T. Hammond gazana when you be wa Ghana law school now what if you baby and or year near maybe no the be rem into all patches MPP for lawyer and lawyer Bronya lawyer chama to me lawyer Bronya cry say no sa lawyer no Abusuan say law no meaning say easy sadia because to me no na me so anyina case will be a law team say the person should be very very brilliant because law who go shamra enye is oba say me nyine man say law no kra no ase me metimi aye bi but me nya adwene ntem kam ye law nti which MPP for law na Kevin Taylor I suppose you nyina because law na e common because me so na lawyer chechikata mo pa na e kase utim say omo exhibiting knowledge intimity say nindia papa we mo no minduro enti say law na be cheap enti no MPP for be a lawyer and no just K.T. Hammond nyina a lawyer obu Akufo-Addo untimi nka classmate because okokase attorney general Gofredame ye papa Gofredame yanzo one hwan ne ko school obetima akire o me lecture ni we na kire ma de even obetima ga say chachuchu katakura kire na de enti no enye din say obetima akire say na we suppose o mo K.T. Hammond ne afoforo aka ana o chom MPP lawyer for enye ro abusuan me do be say daily updates de bia ye adwuma nti borum and check my YouTube emo alert me de me see de bia borum ye adwuma 24/7 me nim say obey say anya me sure say waji brain na yakoti adwuma de ni nyina. God bless you.